Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. This is my technical fundamental and chart analysis for Saturday, November 27th, 2021. Now, I have a differing opinion than what TradingView has, obviously, but we're going to look at their indicators. The RSI is 38.41, which is neutral. The stochastic is 5.85. That is actually a pretty strong oversold territory. The commodity channel index is negative 113.88. That's also pretty strong oversold territory. The average directional index, 22.44, does not indicate a very, very strong trend. And the awesome oscillator doesn't really matter because it was also negative yesterday, so it did not cross the 0 point. Now, based on the stochastic and the commodity channel index, and the fact that there isn't a very strong trend appearing, I would actually say this is actually a buy. Not neutral, but a buy. They have it on neutral, I guess, because I guess they asked people if they want to sell or buy. But I would actually say this is a buy based on these indicators right now, being the commodity channel index and stochastic are both oversold, and the average directional index is not that high. Now, in terms of the moving averages, for the daily, the exponential moving average is essentially like lower than the simple moving average, all the way up to 50 days. And that's actually a pretty big block of time, and it's a pretty long period. So that would actually indicate bearish momentum overall, and that would actually be a very, very strong sell. But it's a special condition because we didn't really have any big giant market news to really shock. We just basically had that the new variant come out, but I think that is a one-time fear, and I do actually believe for me it's kind of a buy because of that. This is where my fundamental analysis basically clashes up against their technical analysis. If you just go by the TA moving average on the daily, it is definitely a very strong sell for the exponential moving average compared to the simple moving average. But if you actually look at the factor of what caused it, that being the new variant, and the fact that we have actually recovered from variants very, very quickly in the crypto market, I would actually say it's a buy right now instead of a sell. And that's the fundamental analysis of what's going on in the world, overriding the technical analysis charts on the daily. Now, on the weekly, it changes. They're still all neutral here on the weekly, and I'm pretty neutral on this too. RSI, stochastic are both neutral. Commodity channel index is neutral, and average directional index not very strong, but there's really not much you can actually tell from it. The awesome oscillator, I haven't actually kept track of that one on the weekly, but I do think it was positive before as well, and I think there's actually a decently positive trend on the weekly. Now, the thing is, the exponential moving average for 10 weeks, because this week was so bad, it's actually on the sell. As you can see, the exponential moving average is lower than the simple moving average. But for 20 and 30 weeks, the simple is the exponential, is actually greater than the simple. So that would actually indicate a buy for the longer term. So what the moving averages indicate for on the weekly is essentially maybe sell on the shorter term, but overall on the 4 month or essentially a 6 month time scale, it would definitely be a buy. And they actually even have a strong buy. So essentially, I agree with them. I have it at a buy as well. Partially because I do think it'll actually start to recover on Monday, if not a couple of days later. I'm not actually sure what's going to happen on Monday. I think we have to look at how the stock market reacts, and how the stock market reacts will kind of be how will mirror a little bit how the crypto market reacts. But I do expect there to be somewhat of a small recovery at least on Monday, because we had Black Friday, and then we had the weekend, no action there, and then Monday comes along, they should actually rebound a little bit. Hopefully we don't keep going down, but even if we do, that's just time to pick up more coins. On the monthly indicators, we also have neutral, but the commodity channel index is getting to be almost to the overbought territory at 90. Remember, at over 100, it's overbought. The average directional index is a little stronger on the monthly, 47.23, and the RSI and the stochastic are essentially heading towards the overbought territory, but the average directional index tells us that maybe it is a positive trend. So I would say it is pretty neutral, maybe slightly favoring buy on the oscillators. On the exponential and simple moving average, it's just that the exponential moving average on the 10, because of what happened yesterday, on Friday, is basically a sell, I think, on the 10, because we're 3,000 lower than the simple moving average. But the exponential moving average for 20 and 30 weeks is much, much higher. So I do believe that like basically Black Friday was negative enough to pull like the even the monthly moving average because they weighted so heavily towards this month that it's actually enough to actually pull it down by a significant amount. But if you actually take into the account that it was probably because of the whole variant news, and Black Friday is pretty much over anyways, and no one really cares about Black Friday these days. It's all about Cyber Monday and other stuff. It's all because of the variant news, and crypto does recover a lot of because crypto does recover much faster from variants than like the actual news. I do expect a strong recovery, so I am basically in agreement on the monthly average. So I am on a buy for a week and month. For one day, it's going to be really on the daily average. It's going to be really really important what happens Monday. You can kind of look to the stock market for a small like preview window on the daily. I'm still more of kind of like on a buy schedule for the day just because I know like what caused the dip. But that's really anyone's guess. I could definitely be wrong on the daily average, but I'm much more bullish over the weekly and monthly terms. In terms of BTC USD longs, hasn't really done much. It's up like 1,000. BTC USD shorts, though, has seen some significant movement as of 3,340. Now we're only at 10 to 1. So the shorts are slowly creeping up on the longs, but the longs still have it by 10 to 1. Now, like I said, in terms of like world news and fundamental analysis, like if you look at the market as a whole, I still think it's a fairly strong buy for many of the same reasons. I think it's a buy mainly because of the expected recovery from the variant. If not on Monday, then probably throughout the rest of the week. The futures have already expired as well, so we won't have to worry about that until the end of December. So we should have a good week or two coming up. I do think like this sudden sell-off is not nearly as bad as the sudden sell-off we had like back in 2020 in March when like the COVID lockdowns basically came. But even if we do have more lockdowns, which I highly doubt we'll actually have lockdowns. Remember, lockdowns in the long term are actually good for crypto because you just print more money generally. And when you print more money, crypto generally tends to go up. And more than that, like crypto isn't really nearly affected by lockdowns as other projects. If you actually look at the crypto market, when people are locked down, they tend to go on the computer more and they tend to trade crypto more. So overall, a lockdown is actually fairly good for crypto. I don't think a lockdown will happen, but even assuming the worst and it does happen, I don't think it'll hurt crypto that much. So on the longer term, I'm definitely at a buy. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.